I'm Leslie Reyes. I am the former secretary for the American Cannabis Nurses Association, and I am a former dispensary employee.
And I am Jacqueline Patterson. I'm a diversity rights advocate. I was born with cerebral palsy, which literally means lack of muscle control. I was premature, and I didn't receive enough oxygen in the first few moments of my life. So I have some brain damage that causes what most people call stuttering, but I refer to it as speech spasms, as well as a pretty defined weakness on the right side of my body. I use cannabis on a daily basis to decrease muscle spasticity, increase up my muscle tone, and just have an easier time speaking. Leslie and I are going into business together to help more patients gain access to quality medical cannabis and other non-pharmaceutical modalities.
When I first started using cannabis, it was more probably recreational in college. I found it relaxed me, but there was so much propaganda saying it's bad for you, it's a gateway drug, it's going to lead to something else. And I had told my therapist at some point that I was seeing, this was a good 15 years ago or so, that I found it was helping me, and she was just completely horrified by this. This is not tested, this is illegal. Why don't you try going on an antidepressant or an anti-anxiety? I had been going through a lot of personal problems. I had a really bad reaction to it. It just really made my situation worse. At some point, I just decided, this is ridiculous. I live in California. It is actually illegal in the state, and I felt like it helped me before. But for me, going on the antidepressants, it might as well have been just using some kind of street drug, abusing a street drug, even though I was taking everything the way my doctors were telling me to. I'm a psych nurse now, and there are people who are helped very much by those medications, but I feel that we're not able to offer them the full spectrum of what could help them, especially with the CBD has been shown to work really well as a mood stabilizer, as well as lithium or geodon in some studies. So I feel like it needs to be taken seriously, and there are still some doctors that are not really teaching it in medical school or nursing school, the real medicinal properties and how it works. There are anti-anxieties that you can take as needed, but they tend to be highly addictive, like benzodiazepines, Xanax, Ativan. The difference with cannabis is you have the high CBD or the indicas, and then the high THC or sativas, so you can kind of balance out. Do you need something that's gonna help you relax, maybe an indica? Or you're feeling like you're a little depressed, so sometimes the sativa will help. And it's important for the medical community to understand how they work too, because a sativa can make one person feel paranoid, but it can lift someone else out of depression, just like the way regular pharmaceuticals are used. But that's the main problem is that it's almost like a one-size-fits-all dose. You pick a dose, they build you up to a certain dose on these medicines, and then that's all you're on, and then people start to feel kind of flat. I think with cannabis, you can kind of use it, like if you're having a bad day, you can use a little bit more, and there's no risk of overdosing, of physically overdosing.
I've used prescription medications, but nothing like helps me heal or tones my muscles the way that cannabis Naturally does.
Even if she had like a hit right now, her speech would just smooth out.
Practically that fast. When I smoke cannabis, I can feel the tension leaving my throat and my jaw. My limbs don't get tight. I'm able to walk and talk and fully engage in the advocacy that a lot of disabled people who are too afraid to speak out need me to engage in.
Medication.